In Paris, the world-renowned Louvre Museum, long considered one of the most secure structures on Earth, was robbed in broad daylight.
Hunt is underway for thieves after priceless jewels were stolen from one of the world's most famous museums.
In a way that stunned everyone. What people once thought possible only in Hollywood films suddenly unfolded before their very eyes. Welcome to True Journey Studio. On the morning of October 19th, 2025, the Louvre Museum opened to the public as usual. Security guards took their positions, and tourists from around the globe began entering the museum. At 8:30 a.m., just 30 minutes after opening, something strange occurred on the side facing the River Seine. A truck, the type generally used to deliver furniture to upper floors, stopped right beside the museum wall. Attached to it was a mechanical lift, but this truck wasn't there for any furniture delivery, and the people inside had far more sinister intentions. There were 4 individuals in the group, all wearing yellow and orange safety vests resembling those of construction workers. However, their faces were hidden behind balaclavas. 2 of them extended the lift upward, reaching a first-floor balcony of the museum. That balcony provided access to one of the most magnificent sections of the Louvre, the Gallery of Apollo, home to France's royal treasures displayed for visitors. Yet, a major obstacle stood in their way, a thick glass wall guarding the gallery. After reaching the balcony, the robbers pulled out an industrial-grade disc cutter from their bag and within seconds, sliced through the glass to gain entry into the gallery. Everything happened so swiftly that security guards hadn't yet realized what was unfolding, but the alarm system soon triggered, alerting the guards nearby, who caught sight of the intruders. The robbers, however, were unfazed. They threatened the guards with power tools and continued their heist without hesitation. Following protocol, the guards immediately began evacuating tourists from the area, while panic and confusion spread throughout the museum. One witness later recalled that the atmosphere was filled with terror and chaos, as no one could comprehend what was happening. Meanwhile, as police and staff rushed to control the situation, the 2 thieves calmly smashed open display cases, seized 9 priceless artifacts, and escaped the same way they had entered, through the broken glass and back onto the balcony. Down below, their 2 accomplices waited on scooters. The thieves hurried down the lift, jumped onto the scooters, and sped away from the scene. The entire event was over in moments. The robbers spent barely 4 minutes inside the museum, and the whole operation, from arrival to escape, took only a few minutes more. The entire operation, from extending the lift and cutting through the glass to looting the treasures and escaping, lasted only 8 minutes before fleeing. The robbers even attempted to set the truck on fire, hoping to erase any evidence or fingerprints that could lead investigators to them. However, a brave museum staff member quickly intervened and managed to stop them in time. The thieves then made their escape along the riverbank, heading toward the Boulevard Périphérique, Paris's busy ring road, before merging onto the A6 motorway, where they vanished without a trace. This broad daylight heist was nothing short of a national humiliation for France. But the biggest question that followed was, what exactly was stolen from the museum and which artifacts had the robbers targeted? When the authorities finally assessed the damage, a wave of grief and disbelief swept across the country. The stolen objects weren't just financially valuable. They were deeply rooted in France's cultural and royal heritage, making them truly irreplaceable. According to the Ministry of Culture, a total of 8 priceless artifacts were confirmed stolen from the Louvre Museum. You might recall that initially reports mentioned 9 items, and that was true. The thieves had indeed taken 9 pieces, but 1 fell onto the road during their escape. That fallen item was a 170-year-old crown belonging to Empress Eugenie, wife of Napoleon III. The crown, crafted especially for her in 1855, became damaged when the thieves tried to pull it through the small glass opening they had cut. In forcing it out, they scratched and dented the crown, and when it fell, it sustained further damage. Later, the museum's director stated that while the crown might be restorable, the loss of the other 8 artifacts was beyond repair. Among the stolen treasures were Empress Eugenie's stunning tiara and brooch, Empress Marie-Louise's emerald necklace and matching earrings. She was the second wife of Napoleon Bonaparte. Queen Marie-Amelie's and Queen Hortense's sapphire jewelry sets, which included a tiara, necklace and earring, and a rare reliquary brooch, renowned for its delicate craftsmanship. All of these artifacts dated back to the 19th century, embellished with thousands of diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, and other precious stones. These were not mere ornaments. They were living pieces of royal history. Experts estimated the material worth of the gold, gems, and diamonds to be around $102 million. But their historical and cultural value was beyond any price tag. Not even $1 billion could replace them. What puzzled investigators most was that the robbers had ignored the most valuable items in the gallery, such as the Regent diamond, worth 51 million euros, about $60 million, and the Sancy and Hortensia diamonds, all of which remained untouched. This led authorities to believe that the robbers were working under a specific commission. They knew exactly what to steal and what to leave behind. The Paris prosecutor's office later declared that this wasn't just a financial crime, but a cultural tragedy, a loss that had deeply scarred France's historical legacy. Yet a haunting question lingered. How could the world's most visited museum, protected by one of the most advanced security systems, suffer such a catastrophic breach? As the investigation unfolded, astonishing revelations began to emerge. According to initial French media reports, it was later discovered that in the section of the Louvre Museum where the robbery took place, nearly 1 out of every 3 rooms didn't even have CCTV coverage. Yes, the world's largest and supposedly most secure museum had blind spots in its surveillance system. Even the external cameras installed outside didn't fully cover the balcony area, the exact spot the thieves used to break in. But the real shock came when French Senate member Nathalie Goulet revealed to the BBC that the alarm triggered that morning wasn't even the one for that specific balcony. It was the museum's general alarm. The localized alarm system, which was designed to detect intrusions in that particular section, had reportedly stopped working just days before the heist. Had that alarm been functional, the security team could have immediately detected the break-in. Following the incident, the museum's director publicly admitted to the security lapse and even offered her resignation to the Ministry of Culture, though her resignation was ultimately rejected. This daring robbery raised serious concerns about the overall security standards of museums across France. And interestingly, this wasn't the first time the Louvre had been robbed. In 1911, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa was stolen from this very museum by one of its own employees. He hid the painting under his coat and simply walked out without being noticed. The painting was recovered 2 years later in Italy when the thief tried to sell it. Ironically, that theft was what made the Mona Lisa world famous. Then, in 1976, King Charles VI's royal sword was stolen after 3 robbers broke in through a window. The sword was never recovered. Again, in 1998, another daytime robbery took place, where thieves removed a painting from its frame and escaped. That artwork also remains missing to this day. Now, 27 years later, another major heist has shaken the Louvre once again. Currently, more than 60 investigators, and according to some reports, over 100 officers, are working tirelessly to solve this case. On October 25, 2025, police arrested 2 suspects believed to be closely linked to the robbery. Investigators had gathered nearly 150 DNA samples and fingerprints from the crime scene, including helmets, gloves, and even inside the getaway truck. Authorities said the arrests were made after a DNA match, and one of the suspects already had a criminal record involving gold theft officials. Remain optimistic that the mastermind and the rest of the gang behind the Paris Museum robbery will soon be caught. However, it's still unclear whether any of the stolen treasures have been recovered. After the incident, the museum was closed until October 2nd, though the Gallery of Apollo remains sealed off to this day. According to police, the entire operation was carried out by a highly organized and professional gang, and the investigation is still ongoing. That's all for today's story. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts below. Thank you for your constant love and support. We'll see you in the next fascinating video.